What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for taking time aside. It's going to be about 30 minutes to 45 minutes for this Sunday stock talk. For those that are joining us for the first time, we do have these weekly stock talks, and it pretty much just recaps last week's trading. Planning for this upcoming week. I perform a series of technical analysis for you guys, for those members within the TechBot Solutions, and I simply pretty much just answer a couple questions within this live stream. So if you guys ever want to join us again, we do perform this Sunday stock talk every Sunday at 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. So again, I do want to thank each and every one of you who's joining right now. We had a pretty solid week last week. I ended up calling a stock that was SPI. I called it at the bounce. It was a support of like $1.55. I got in at 160, and then it rode all the way up to 176. Although I wasn't able to sell, regardless, we called out that 10% plus stock. There's a series of other stocks that we were trading that we were pretty successful in, as in like JDST, and switching on over to JNUG, and those are more ETFs, obviously. But then the ones for this upcoming week, be on the lookout within our TechBot Solutions Facebook platform. I'm going to be posting my watch list, but I want to make sure that we understand, the whole point of this group. So for those that are again joining us for the first time, this is a networking group. It comes down to you as the investor on what you decide to invest in. Something that we always suggest is making sure that you learn how to trade first. Once you learn how to trade, getting your feet wet, so planning out on where you're buying, where you're selling, and where you're going to cut your losses, and then executing. What I mean by that is sticking to your plan on whatever it is that you set up. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, but I'm going to be answering a couple questions within the first couple of minutes. So let's go ahead and see what other comments are saying. So I just want to introduce a couple of you. So again, your name is Joni. Hey Ricky, happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Appreciate that. Mike Hernandez, Ryan O'Donnell. Joni New, Armin, I can't pronounce your last name, I apologize, but Thomas, Top Gamer, Fardine, Dan, Julian Poluku, Matt. Man, you guys are from all over the place, from Sweden. We got some from the UK. We got someone saying, how's it going, homeboy? Again, it's Mike. All right, so you guys are suggesting a series of different stocks, and I do want to thank you guys. Right now, pretty much what I'm going to be talking about is last week's trading, what I did good and what I did bad. If you guys don't know, there was, I believe, just because of my trip that I took to California, I had a meeting out there, but I also went to go see some family. Pretty much, I ended up trading in the morning, and I started doing, this new thing of going live. And what I mean by that is the market opens at 6:30 Mountain Standard Time, but I started to go live at 6 a.m., preparing, kind of just talking about my whole thought process on different stocks that I'm going to be trading as the market opens. And we did very well. Some stocks, you guys were able to capture what I was trading for those 30 minutes of the actual market open. But for those that don't know, I actually trade for 2 hours live, or 2 hours actively. So from 6:30 to 8:30 is usually where I trade, and then for the rest of the day I trade based on alerts. So I just stick to my plan, and if something falls into my, in a sense, or criteria when it comes to a certain support or resistance, then I trade according to that. And I definitely want to make sure that I trade when I'm comfortable and not based on anyone else's opinion. And that's one of the most important things that we have tried to express within this community of growing entrepreneurs and growing investors, is that you are the final decision maker on what you choose to invest in, and you can ask every single member in the comments or in this live stream what you should trade. But I want to make sure that you guys are aware that you should never trade based on anyone else's opinion. I'm sure everyone else can support that. Like you guys can talk right now in the live stream, how important it is for you as the investor to identify potential. And if you can't identify potential yet, then learn how to. And that's why we have this platform. Again, it's a completely free platform. The link is provided for you down below. You simply have to have a Facebook. For those that don't, you simply email me at techbuds@mail.com. And then we have one of our administrators that will follow up with you, providing you the links to the group chats. So I hope you guys have been getting those. But overall, there's never been a better time to trade, even long-term, not just necessarily penny stocks. If you guys just want to get introduced to the market of investing, then there's never been a better time. And the reason I mean by that is there's never been a better time to learn so much and to not risk any money. And what I mean by that is, by TD Ameritrade's paper trading, they offer a platform, a service that allows you to trade with $200,000 of real-time stocks at real time. So you can trade everything that we're trading with real-time quotes and all that stuff, but with fake $200,000. So you can get your feet wet, learn how how it goes and develop yourself as a trader. And then for the meantime, start growing your account. So by the time that you've learned and filtered out all these mistakes, because you've been trading for 1 to 2 months on this paper trading account, now you actually know how to trade. So again, I don't want to go too much into that because I know it gets pretty repetitive for those that join us every single time. So let's go ahead and start answering some questions. If you guys want me to go straight into technical analysis, I'd be more than happy to do so. So Tim says, anyone from Washington State, East Texas here. So it looks like you guys are just introducing yourself. So, great. That's pretty great. So let's go ahead and start analyzing some stocks. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. And kind of go from there. I'm going to talk about first one ETF that I'm kind of keeping my eyes on, and the reason why is because of the huge dip that it took for this upcoming week. JDST is getting a little bit closer to its resistance, and that resistance is around $78. Can it break that resistance and continue to rise? Of course. But most likely within the past couple of days and the trends that it's been seeing, $78 tends to be a pretty solid resistance. And it's continuously, although it has had, really nice rises, really nice spikes, it's kind of seen a downward trend. And I'm going to show you my screen kind of exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So it looks like you guys are suggesting a series of stocks. So let me go ahead and just get right to it. So it looks like you guys just want to jump right into it. So I'm pretty stoked on that. Alrighty, so this is JDST. I'm going to move my watch list over here and then focus on this. So again, for those that are joining us for the first time and don't know what I'm using, this is TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. I made a video how you guys can gain access to this completely free if you guys live within the United States. But pretty much, this is a 5-day analysis on JDST. This is a ETF. It's a gold-based ETF. So usually when our economy does well, so does this ETF. Now, there's an inverse ETF of JDST, and I don't want to confuse you guys for for those that don't understand it. Inverse means opposite. So when JDST, which is the other ETF, goes up, then JNUG goes down, as you can see. So JDST has continuously been seen or saw first. Let's go ahead and go a little bit further back. This is what I wanted you guys to see. Whoa. Actually, just this. So I wanted you guys to see this huge drop that it had from, its resistance, saw a huge drop, built a support at $74. It hit highs of about $81, then started seeing a downward trend. Came back up, but pretty much came back up to the old support that it had around $78, if you could see that. So I don't want to confuse you guys, but again, the reason I see this to be a downward trend is actually, let me see if I can draw this. Here we go. All right, so what I mean by this is JDST used to have a support and a resistance, and again, this is just based on my technical analysis, so make sure that you perform your own, but used to have a support at about $80, right? It would bounce at $80 and had a resistance at about $85, if you guys can see that here. So it was bouncing within this area. So low points right here, $80, high point, 85. So you buy here, sell here, right? It broke below the support. So it broke below $80 and it saw a huge drop. This is the first thing. So I had a huge drop over the weekend, and then it pulled back all the way down to about $74. Started to rise. First, it saw a pretty decent rise, came back up to about $81. So if you see, it used to be an old support, $81. Came back, broke that, and came back down. So again, old support became new resistance level. Now it broke, and then it built a new support. So the resistance that it had about $81, it had a new support at around like $78. If you guys could see that it would bounce around the $78 mark, it would hold after market hours above 78. So again, resistance, 81, support, 78. Let me know if you guys understand that. So again, it would bounce around this area. It broke below that support. Again, continue to see a downward trend. Now it built a new support at about $74, $75 and saw a new resistance at $78. So do you guys see this trend that's going on? When it breaks the support, it becomes a new resistance level. When it breaks this support, it becomes a new resistance level. But what is it doing? It's flatlining. It's seen a downward trend. Does it mean that it can continue to see a downward trend? Well, not necessarily, but just based on its previous trend, I mean, if you could see the old resistance that it had here at $75, and what I mean by that is as it was rising, it hit 75 and then dropped back down. So if it drops below $74, just know that that was an old resistance, which will become a new resistance. It was an old resistance, which is now the new support. But if it breaks below $74, then we're going to go, back into this trading area of, 66 to 74. So what is it? Why is this important, or why am I talking about this? Well, I like to use these different indicators to indicate, upward or downward momentum. The momentum right now is, although it is above the SMA line, it is seeing a downward trend, and the RSI indicator isn't ideally, it's more on closer to the overbought side. Again, closer to the 70, which means overbought. I don't want to confuse you guys. All I want you guys to see is if you guys can see this consistent downward trend and the support that it has at about $74. So this support that it currently has was an old resistance. So if it breaks that support, then we're going to see a huge downward trend. What does that mean, or why is that important? Why do we care about, if JDST drops? Well, the reason we care is because JNUG, if JDST drops the way that one did, then JNUG has the potential to rise back up to this $20 mark. And what I mean by that is, just like we saw JDST have a decent, in a sense, downward trend, JNUG is seeing an upward trend, if you see that. And now it's approaching the resistance that it had about $18. And that was the old support. So if we break above that $18 mark, then that's what I want to capitalize on. That's what I see as potential, because I see the potential from $18 to about $19 to $20 based on this, old way of it used to be trading, around from 1823 to about 1967. So again, support, resistance. But right now, this support, what was a support, is now currently the resistance. So we need to break above that $18 mark and make sure that we see that upward trend and trade based on, the low points and the high points. That's all I wanted to talk about. I hope that makes sense for you guys. And this is how I perform my technical analysis. So I'm going to start actually looking at a couple things that you guys are suggesting. So one of the questions is, Ricky, do you ever short stocks? No, I do not. Ricky, when are we doing a meetup? That is something that I am talking to people within my group to try to set one up. But at the moment, I'm just really busy with everything that I have going on. So it just doesn't seem very realistic at the current moment, but I definitely do plan to do it on the summer. Someone's saying the market is closed on weekends. Yes, so market is closed on the weekends. This is why we do the Sunday stock talk, to prepare for the upcoming week, Monday through Friday. But again, the market is closed tomorrow in observance of Memorial Day. Let's go ahead and see what you guys are suggesting. Let's do MX from Max, BPMX. I think that's one that we've been talking about. Okay, so I try to stay away from stocks less than $1 usually, especially now that I'm kind of trading with the Robinhood account. I tend to see more success, and again, it's just me identifying, what I do good and what I do bad. I tend to see more success trading stocks over $1 than those that are less than $1, just because it's harder for me to cut my losses, and when I do, they're usually a lot larger losses than my potential for profit. So it looks like, just on the simple 20-day analysis, let me go a little bit further back. Had a huge pullback, or had a huge drop all the way to the support at 40 cents, and has continuously been seeing an upward trend. It looks like it has a pretty solid support at 60 cents, so that's pretty nice, and has a pretty decent resistance at about 68 to 70 cents. So definitely has that 10% potential. But again, this is year to date. So I personally, again, I don't feel comfortable trading these certain stocks. And one of the members within our group, his name is Bradley. He's the one that leads the OTC group within TechBook Solutions. Feel free to reach out to him, because I know he trades a bunch of over-the-counter stocks and a bunch of true pink sheet stocks. So he's one that can capitalize on this and this is like his area of expertise. But again, support, resistance, I'm more of a technical trader. What I'd like to see is, if it continues to hold above $60 or 60 cents, it's easy to set up a plan. So again, buy low. So 60 cents is the support. So where could you buy? Anything above 60, as long as it shows an upward trend. So I'm going to get a little bit closer and show a 3-day analysis. And although the volume, as you guys can see, is not within my comfort zone, meaning that it's not necessarily where I want the volume to be, it looks like there's a solid support at 60 cents. And there's a resistance at about 64 to 65. What does that mean? Well, it has this margin of profit from this low. Oh, shoot, let me go ahead and change this drawing. It has this potential for profit about 5% if you get in at the low point, or for those that got in at this low point of 68A and sold at the resistance, as you guys could obviously tell that it's had for the past couple of days, at about 64 cents. So it does have this margin of profit. So Would you buy at 64 cents? Well, not necessarily, because you know that that's a resistance. So a better buy point is around the 61 to 62 cent mark, and better sell point would be around 63 to 64. But just know that if it breaks above 65, then we can continue to see an upward trend. Does it have potential for margin or potential for profit? Well, it looks like it's been gapping up. So as long as it can gap up to where it's been, that was a couple days ago, and it saw a huge upward trend, and it almost, I don't want to say that it's seen a downward trend. It's kind of plateaued between this support at 60 and resistance at 65. Just make sure you have a proper plan on where you get in and where you get out, and make sure you cut your losses short. So if you know that the support is at 60 cents, then maybe setting a stop loss at 0.59 is ideal to make sure that you minimize loss. And that's the only thing that I would do in a sense if I were to trade BPMX. So it looks like WLL is one that's being suggested. WLL. Wow, huge pullback, support. This is actually really nice. Started showing signs of upward momentum. Damn, I'm sorry, excuse my language. This would have been nice to actually catch at the support at 70.83. It bounced. It's still pretty solid. And the reason that I like this is, me personally, I talk about it very often. I love chasing red stocks, and what I mean by that is when they have huge pullbacks, so huge areas of profit that it builds. And what I mean by that is, once we identify the support and it bounces, then it starts to rise, and this increase is what I capitalize on. And this is my, I don't want to say area of expertise, but this is definitely what I try to focus on when I trade. So it looks like it's done this before. Support's been around, pretty solid around this area of about, $7.80. Let me go a little bit further back, kind of seeing where it's been at. Overall, year to date, I mean, this is a pretty low point. It has gone below, but again, it comes down to risk management. So if you understand that 68 is a support, it's about cutting losses short if it continues to see a downward trend, and locking in profits when you're in the green. So I'm definitely going to add this to my watch list, and great suggestion. So I'm going to look a little bit more into it and why it saw such a big pullback. It looks like it was way overbought. This RSI indicator showing it that it was above 70, then saw a huge drop, and then it was probably just pumped and then dumped. And then now it has a support at around 73 cents and has a resistance at about $8. Obviously, this isn't going to be necessarily a stock that brings in huge amounts of profit, but it's one that could almost be swing traded for those that see the potential. So again, the support here, and then potential for profit if it comes back to where it was at $8.60 is about 10%, if you guys can see that. So this is why I find these to be so profitable. So I'm going to put my alert when it goes below. And I'm going to put the resistance, since it's at $8.10, when it goes above. Yep, but that's really just it. So let's go ahead and MTBC. MTBC has continuously been on a downward trend, if I'm correct, and it's definitely been losing a lot of volume. This was one that was traded within our group quite a while ago, and it saw a huge rise up and then saw a downward trend, and continuously been seen a downward trend. It has an overall support, if you guys could see my little trend line, at around $1.70, as that was where the old support was, and it looks like it's at the old resistance, which is about $1.80. So RSI is necessarily kind of low, but as a day trade, again, you want to look within the past like 2 to 3 days. This margin of profit that it builds from the low points to the high points is about 2.3% or 2.8%. So the potential's there. Just the volume is very low, and you have to be really quick with it because it doesn't look like it drops very often. But when it does, I mean, I'd simply set my alert. So I'm just going to do that. And it's all about risk management. So again, when it comes to this $1,000 challenge, from growing your account from $1,000 to $20,000, it comes down to an average of 2.33% or 2.34% average profit a day, 3 times a week, 4 times a month, and 12 times a year. And in doing that with the power of compounding interest, it really comes down to something so simple, but something so powerful. It comes down to locking in profit. So identifying profits and margin, setting up a plan. Okay, the low points are around $1.88. The high points, the resistance is at $1.92. So I'm going to buy low, sell high, and all of a sudden, if it takes a dip, I'm going to cut losses if it drops below, 187 as, that was the old support, or 186, whatever it is that you justify that your, support resistance. Set up a plan on where you're going to cut your losses and make sure you stick to it. Help me understand XTNT. XCNT. Okay, well, this one sees super low volume. Continues, just a continuous downward trend. Support. Saw a huge rise. Again, it does show to be seen a sign of upward momentum, but again, RSI indicator is showing that it's more on the overbought side. So we're probably going to see a pullback, as you saw this red candlestick bringing it back down to 45 cents. And it looks like it has a support at around 40 to 41 cents. As you guys can see that it bounces here, and this resistance at about 45 cents. So again, that's 10% profit. So again, buy low, sell high. Make sure you cut losses quick, because if you even cut losses at just 1 cent loss for a 40-cent stock, I believe that's 2.5% if I'm not mistaken, and that's what you should actually be locking in. So that's why I find these a little bit more difficult to manage, because the potential for loss is so much greater, because they move so quickly if they do end up dropping. As you can see how it rose up and then dropped back down, and I mean, that's not a small rise and that's not a small drop. That's 15%, and then it drops 15%. So that's why these are so volatile. MTBC has news coming out on Tuesday, I think. Well, that's definitely something to follow up on. And again, I'm just performing a series of technical analysis so you guys can kind of see my whole thought process. But I want to make sure that you guys understand that the importance of making sure that you do your own analysis and identifying potential and trading according to that. So CYTR. CYTR. Oh. All right, so it's more on the oversold side, or overbought side. RSI indicator, or SMA, showing that it's seen signs of upward momentum, but hasn't hit its resistance, hasn't hit its peak point. Well, it's getting there. It looks like it sees these spikes from time to time, but obviously it continues to go back down to its support at 40 cents. So I feel like those that weren't able to capitalize or get in at this 40-cent mark, everything that you're really going based off of is momentum, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to be very careful, especially with a stock that's under $1. So it's just continuously been seeing upward momentum and an upward trend since even just the entire day almost, and then it holds and it does the same thing. Yeah, doesn't have huge pullbacks. So if it continues to do this and continues to show signs of upward trends, then there's nothing wrong with trading it, as long as you understand that it has potential and you set up a plan. So where you're going to buy in, where you're going to sell, and where you're going to cut your losses. So if it makes sense to you guys, 100%, make sure you guys go for it. But don't go in blindly. Don't go in like not really understanding, just kind of hoping for the best. Because in the long run, I'm going to tell you, if you guys want to do this as a career, you guys want to do this to make money, to see growth in your account, and you're going based off hope, I'm sorry, this is just not a market for you. You have to really understand what it is that you're getting into, and at least understand the analysis that you're performing, making sure that you understand that you're getting in at a good buy, that you're going to be selling at a realistic, resistance, that makes sense, and that you're going to have to cut your losses. That's one of the biggest things for people to understand, is the importance of cutting losses, because people get so emotional, so get so tied into whatever it is that they're investing in, when no one cares really like what you think or how much you put into a stock, right? Because the market's extremely volatile, and 90% of people lose money in the stock market, and we're just talking about what you can do that has, or what we've done that has led to our success. And we also talk about our mistakes. That's why I think this group has been such an amazing environment, because people really see like real world people making money, and then when they see losses, they talk about it, and they talked about what they could have done better, and hope that those that are watching and those that are reading understand that and not make the same mistake. That's the whole point of this group: exposure, learning from it, and making your own decision. Analysis, learning, planning, and trading, or executing, whatever it is that you want to call it. So let's go ahead and so some guys often, you took a look at CYTR and were too scared to even analyze it. You just came for everyone off instead. So no, it's just I don't want to in a sense. Just because it's not something within my comfort zone of trading doesn't mean that it has to be in your comfort zone. If you guys see some of my videos that we trade penny stocks and stuff like that, and there's always going to be like people that are going to be hating because they weren't successful in a certain area of the stock market. There's people that are very good when it comes to swing trading and aren't good at day trading. There's people that are really good at day trading but aren't very good at swing trading. There's people that are really good at technical trading and not momentum trading, and vice versa, right? It really comes down to identifying and discovering your niche and on what you see most success in. And that's why it's so important to start now, and to start with a simulation account or a paper trading account, especially if you don't know how to invest, because you don't want to lose it all or lose any money that you've worked so hard for. And I don't want you to lose any money. That's why I always talk about the importance of paper trading or simulation trading. For all those that talk about, oh no, like all I want to do is like for you to lose your money, there's certain comments that talk about certain things. I talk about everything that I can within my reach and what I'm knowledgeable about on how you guys can minimize loss. And again, I talk about my whole thought process and what has led to my success and what I would have recommended to do, because I would have wished that I would have done more paper trading when starting out, so I would have seen less loss rather than starting with my $3,500 that I lost. So it comes down to that principle of me sharing my mistakes and my best practices and hoping that you guys see the value in that. I'm not like I read some of the hate comments, and there's a bunch of them within my videos, and I wanted to go off in this tangent very quickly. I get a lot of emails saying like, oh my god, like thank you so much, Ricky. Obviously, right, I don't want to minimize that. You guys thank me so much for putting time out there with real no monetary reward, right, because of me just continuously uploading daily. And I 100% want you guys to understand that I do that because I love this community. I love what I've been able to grow within Tech Club Solutions. We're over 21,000 members, and I don't think there's ever been such a powerful platform. Although we are a growing platform, although we are a developing platform, and although a majority of our members are beginners, I think that's a huge area of opportunity. And what I mean by that is we're developing this platform, me and my developers, and we're developing this platform to assist and accommodate and networking and the importance of that. And we want to make sure that we guide you guys in the right direction. And we're not here like StockTwits, right? And I don't want to minimize the importance of StockTwits and what it does, because it's a way more powerful platform currently, and has access to a lot more people and users. But the thing that is a huge drawback with StockTwits is that it's very manipulative, and that people there really just want to profit off of someone else's losses. Within our community, we're here to help one another out, and we're here to share our best practices and share our mistakes, and we're not here to criticize. That's one of the biggest things. It's a supportive community that is here to encourage growth. It's strange within penny stocks or investing or success. And one of the biggest reasons why is for those that succeed and try to talk about their success, they get bombarded with a bunch of hate comments and try to get subjugated because no one tries or everyone tries to minimize the form of success or discredits what it is that I've been able to achieve. In no way do I think I'm successful. Once I made the first video that I made of really talking about a monetary reward was the buying my 2 houses and my GTR, and it was by age 21, right? I talked about it, and it's something that I worked so hard for from the age of 14. I talked about how simple it was, but how long it took, right? Since the age of 14 to 21. A very simple idea of saving money, of working hard, and planning out my goal, and then sticking to it. That's something that I've always been very disciplined with, is understanding that there's a goal, how I'm gonna get there, and sticking to it and staying consistent, because it's something I want. That's something that I feel people have a very hard understanding, or very difficult time to understand, is the importance of something being so simple but yet so complicated, because life gets in the way. Now, as I talked about my story, that was a pretty popular video, and not extremely popular. It has like 20,000 views, but everyone started hating and saying, no, like you live with your mom in Arizona, or I see whatever. Like, I've been out here for about like a year and a half, and my mom has never even came to visit my house. When I first bought my property, it was a foreclosure, and my dad came over to actually help me like restructure some of the walls and stuff like that. They had no sense, other than the guidance. I don't want to discredit that. Other than the guidance of my dad suggesting to invest in a property first and then buy my car within my own means. That was the suggestion. Other than that, I was not given any monetary like reward, or like I wasn't. They called me like I don't know what it is. There's so many different comments out there, but they tried to discredit my story and my story of what I achieved. And I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks why people don't talk about their success, is because when they see when anyone sees a form of success and it's something that they weren't able to achieve and they're salty about it, then all you want to do, or all these people want to do, is discredit that person and talk about why no one should listen to him, why this person's a liar, and why, you know, this is a scam. And if you see with every person that no matter who it is that has seen a form of success, no matter if it's kind of shady or no, it's not, if they are successful, and no matter what it is, someone's always there trying to discredit it. They're called haters, right? And people ask, why don't people talk about success? Well, it's a very touchy subject. And when I first started this and talking about kind of how I didn't make a lot of money, I barely broke 6 figures. And I don't want to say that that's not a lot of money, but it's, in real world, like I see that I make a certain amount of money that's more than some people, but I reinvest all my money. So I necessarily don't really see it. It's something that, if you guys know anything about me, I reinvest into companies, into my vehicles that I sell for profit, and a bunch of different things. And it's something that I really enjoy to do. And people don't understand that. And people think that, you know, this $100,000 like mark is unrealistic. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not. For you that think $50,000 is something that you want to achieve and you're scared what other people might think, you know, screw that. Like, if $50,000 is what you want to achieve, then set up a plan how you're going to achieve that. Get a job that can somewhat accommodate that, and then start working on other forms of income. We always talk about, you know, planning and then sticking, you know, creating a plan on how you're going to achieve that other gap or other margin of income that you need to make. Same with $100,000. Just know that if so many people make 100,000, make, you know, 500,000, make millions of dollars, billions of dollars, why can't you be someone to do this? People are going to say you're not in the position to do this, you're too young, you're too old, whatever it is, it really comes down to you. And I'm here to tell you that I'm here putting myself out there, and I know a bunch of people are going to try to discredit me, but I want you to ask, you know, yourself, as an investor, as an entrepreneur, I don't want you guys to copy anything that I'm doing. I'm not here to sell you any product. I'm not here for you guys to do anything for me other than just work as hard as you can for yourself and for what you want to achieve. I started working as hard as I could initially because I wanted to buy this GTR. It started getting a little bit more into, you know, really falling in love with the idea and the whole process and just experience of work, that I do it about 20 hours a day. I sleep about 4 to 5 hours, if that, and it's something that I truly enjoy to do. I'm driven by work. And it's because it's instilled in me. I know everyone's not like that, but if you want to work for your family so you can, you know, spend a little bit more time for that, then work for it. If you guys want to work, you know, or find different sources of income for, you know, to travel a little bit more, then work for it. It really comes down to what it is that you're working for. So identify your purpose. Set up a plan on how you're going to get there. Don't be sold on the get rich quick scheme. This is not, you know, I've been doing this for about 7 years and I'm not rich. And some people are going to be a lot better than I am when it comes to trading and investing. But I can tell you that I will work as hard as I can to beat each and every one of you guys. And that's just the type of person I am. And I love it. And I love, you know, kind of being around these kind of people. And I love surrounding myself with people that are extremely successful and extremely motivated, because it motivates me even more. So that's why I started this community. That's why I started this environment and this platform for other people that want to be successful and want to achieve a different form of success, that they have a platform or an avenue that they can, you know, utilize at no cost to achieve it. We don't offer you or we don't sell you any service. We don't tell you what to do. We simply talk about what we've done good and effort for you to learn from that. See if you see value in that, what would work for you and what wouldn't, and do it. You as an investor, if it makes sense to you, or you as an entrepreneur, if it makes sense to you on how you can achieve your goal, this form of success, then do it. There's nothing holding you back. It really just comes down to you. We're all in different positions in life, both good and bad. Just set up a plan and do it. Just start today. That's one of the biggest things. We started this $1,000 challenge so you guys can learn the one of the truest, you know, and most important, I think, just qualities that I've ever learned, and it's the value of saving and just discipline. And what I mean by that is we start with $1,000, which I normally never trade with just $1,000, but I, you know, removed some funds of my account and just put it at $1,000 to put myself in your shoes, a majority of the shoes of the 21,000 members we have within this group. And I did it because I want to be in your shoes in achieving and growing this account. And one of the biggest things is locking in profits consistently, sticking to your plan, identifying potential yourself, where you're buying, where you're selling, where you're going to cut your losses. Cut losses short, lock in profits consistently. And in the long run, with this 2.34% average profit a day, 3 times a week, 7% almost a week, that's not very unrealistic for those that day trade and try to lock in, 10, 20, 40, 50% for those that try to sell you on that. I'm not here to try to sell you on anything. If you can identify in a stock, just look at a stock, if you can identify a profit margin of more than 2.4%, then why aren't you trading it? You might not have the money for it. Well, there's a paper trading account. You might not know too much about it, then learn more. There's really has never been a better time to get started with not just investing, but getting started and starting your own avenue or form of success. It really comes down to just going for it. This whole transition of TechBot Solutions has been one of the biggest blessings that I've been able to ever experience, because not only have I been able to assist other entrepreneurs and other investors to achieve a form of success or a taste of success, but it's grown me as an investor, and it's grown me as an entrepreneur on how I can continue to help people and how I can continue to better myself as an investor, not as an entrepreneur, to be more successful, because I learned so much from each and every one of you guys. I don't formulate or ever say that I'm better than any of you guys. I don't ever say that, I'm here to tell you guys what to do. I'm always here to learn as much as I can within my own means of, what I see potential in and what I see value in. And that's really just it. So I just kind of want to go on that tangent. But yeah, I kind of went, I don't know why I do that. I kind of just get so hyped with, and I truly feel so blessed to have such a large following. And some people might think, my 21,000 members within TechBot Solutions is not, huge because people have millions. Well, I'm telling you that the quality that we have, I can promise you is something very powerful. If you guys, we did a study on the average account within our, with a small margin of people that we asked of what their average account was. It was about like 1,252 with the average 21,000 members. That's a little bit over $23 million. That's TechBot Solutions. That's the potential that we have. Do we control it? No. Do we tell you guys what to trade? No. But that's the community that we've been able to grow, a $23 million community. I've never really shared that with anyone other than just the people that we did the study with. But it's amazing. And how did I do this? Did I charge you guys anything? Nothing. I've learned so much from each and every one of you guys, and I want you guys to continue to learn within your own means and what you see value in. And that's really how I'm going to leave this Sunday Stock Talk, is if you want to be successful when it comes to investing, just know that the resources are out there for you to learn. And we provide them for you in a channel and a platform within our TechBot Solutions platform. But you don't have to use us. For all those that are watching and aren't a part of TechBot Solutions or aren't subscribed to my channel, you definitely don't have to. To achieve success, just know that all the resources are really out there. It's you that makes the decision to go out and grab it. And we have them for you if you guys want them within our group of the exposure and the networking environment and all the group chats that we have available. But if you don't see value in that, don't feel bad. It's just, tell me how I can build value for you guys. You guys can direct message me within TechBot Solutions group chat. If you guys want to join the group, just so you can tell me what you want my group to, provide, I'm 100% okay with that. I went through so many messages today, and I talked to so many of you, and I loved it. I got so much feedback, some good, some bad, but I'm taking it and trying to build my company around it, so I can make it more unique and more personable to each and every one of you guys. And that's what I see value in. So you as an investor, you as an entrepreneur, think of what it is that you want to achieve. Really think what it is that you want in life. And then set up a plan, 5, 10 years down the road, whatever it is. If it makes sense to you guys, if the numbers make sense, again, numbers. And you can put in the work to actually achieve those numbers, and it makes sense to you. I can make $50,000 working here. I can make an extra $2,000 a month, doing my side business, and then I'll continue growing it, start trading or investing, buying rental properties, buying and selling cars, whatever it is, the avenue that you want to get into. If it makes sense to you guys, and if you guys can develop different sources of income within your own means, and it makes sense to you guys long term, then why not do it? this upcoming week, we have one extra day to rest or to study or to learn, whatever it is that you guys want to view it as. But I'm definitely going to be working. And for those that are enjoying Memorial Day weekend and having the day off, 100% go enjoy it. But if you have the time and you see the value in dedicating to 1 hour or 30 minutes of just learning something new, then go for it. I'm telling you, like, just learning and exposure is one of the most valuable things that I think people don't always see credit in. And the higher you get in life or the more successful you become, I think you see the more value in just like knowledge, right? Because of everything that you've learned so far that has allowed you to be in that position. You really see the importance of value, of knowledge. And I don't want to get into that, right? But it really comes down to how much you guys want it and if you guys are willing to work for it. So learn as much as you guys can, ask questions within our group or within the comments or whoever it is that you want to ask. Get your questions answered and continue to ask until it gets answered. Just know that I have a bunch of videos that within my helpful video playlist that answer a bunch of frequently asked questions. So make sure you don't just bombard the group chat with a bunch of frequently asked questions because people can get pretty annoyed. But for those that also do know the questions or do know the answers, then answer them. If you guys have 5-10 minutes and can help one another out, then that's the whole point of this group. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys. I'm going to dedicate at least 30 minutes today in performing technical analysis on stocks that I see potential in. I'm going to post my watch list within the TechBut Solutions main chat room. I'm going to post a picture, and then in the Facebook platform. And then I'm also going to post it in the technical analysis group chat. And then we'll be up in the morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, I guess not tomorrow, but on Tuesday. So I'll be making a follow-up video. And if you guys want to join us live, I am going to be posting it. Subscribe if you guys can join our group. Again, if you guys see value in it, please join. If you guys don't, again, it's a free group. But if you guys don't, just do me one favor and just don't underestimate yourself. That's one of the biggest things. Don't think you can achieve something because someone tells you. And that's what I want you guys to understand. There's so many people that are going to be so just dishonest and just wanting you to be like them and not achieve much. Just know that in today's age, there's never been, a higher possibility for success or chance of success because of all the resources we have access to with the power of the internet. I'm talking to all of you guys. I have, with my following, just simply with that, something so simple. You have access to such powerful resources. Just make sure you use them. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you guys can like and subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate it. We'd love to be a part of your success. The link is provided for you down below. It is the TechBut Solutions link, so you guys can join our Facebook group. If you guys want to follow me on my social media account, on my Instagram, the link is also provided for you down below. But other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Make sure that hope you guys had a safe weekend and a fun Memorial Day. And we'll see you guys Tuesday morning. So thank you guys again. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, guys.